Hi guys, welcome to EduTap. So friends, as you all know that the industrial relations and labor laws is a very important component under EPFC examination. But the thing is, this component is not very common for the competitive examinations in India. So that is why it becomes very difficult to understand the syllabus and strategy with respect to this component. So guys, that is why in this session we are going to discuss the syllabus of IR and labor laws for APFC examination. Because if you see the previous year notification of APFC examination, there you will not find any decoded syllabus with respect to this component. There only one thing is mentioned, that IR and labor law, that's it. So it becomes very difficult to understand the scope and the syllabus with respect to this component. So that is why guys, in this session we are going to discuss the detailed syllabus of IR and labor law. We will decode the entire syllabus and we will let you know what exactly you need to read under this component. And guys, at the last, you will also get to know about the 4 labor codes. As you all know that 29 laws have been subsumed under 4 labor codes. So what to read and how to read the labor codes, whether they are important for the APFC examination or not, you will get to know by the end of this session. So without wasting much time, let's proceed guys. But friends, before starting, a very big announcement for those who are preparing for APFC examination. You spend a lot of time on internet in order to gathering and collecting information with respect to APFC examination. But even after spending that much time, you are not able to get accurate as well as reliable information. So we have understood the pain point of the aspirants. That is why we at EduTap have launched this guidebook for those who are preparing for APFC examination. Guys, this guidebook will consist each and everything that is required for you to become an APFC, right? Starting from the EPFO as an organization, departments under EPFO, hierarchies under EPFO, right? If we talk about APFC examination, so what is the recruitment pattern of APFC examination? What is the detailed syllabus, cutoff, salary, eligibility, each and everything that is required for you to become an APFC. What are the resources for this examination, right? What are the resources for interview? And guys, 6 steps formula by following which you can clear this examination. So guys, you can see here that this guidebook is prepared very beautifully. Here you can see that colorful pages are there. So it is hardly a 30-page guidebook which can help you to clear this examination. Now the question is how you can avail this. So guys, you can avail this by going to the link given in the description box below and download it. Guys, those who are preparing for APFC examination, this is a Bible for them. So you have to download it and you have to keep it on your study table and you have to refer it regularly, right? After referring this, you do not need to refer anything else. And whatever time you are wasting on internet in order to research the information with respect to this information, guys, that time you can invest in your study, right? So guys, let's proceed with our agenda. So guys, if we talk about the syllabus of IR and labor law, so first of all, it is important to understand the importance of this component for APFC examination. So how we can understand the importance of any component? By referring the previous year questions. How many questions have been asked in the previous year, so that we can understand the importance of any component, right? So if we see the APFC examination of 2015, so there we can see only one question was there. If we see APFC examination 2012, so 6 questions were there in 2012 APFC examination. If we talk about EO examination of 2020, there's 7 questions were there. And if we refer EO examination of 2017, so 16 questions were there. This means guys, questions were there from this component that you cannot skip. So if you refer the EO examination of 2017, so guys, 16 questions were there, right? 16 questions the yahan se, which means this component is very important. And why we are referring EO examination? Because both the examination, that is APFC and EO examination, is conducted by EPFO, right? So ये जो दोनों ही पोस्ट है ये EPFO के अंडर आती है. That is why we are referring EO examination as well, and the syllabus is almost same for both of these examination, right? So this means guys, यहाँ पे हम देख के we can easily conclude that this component is very important and you cannot skip it. Now the thing is, if you cannot skip it, then you have to do it, right? अब उसको करना है तो उसकी what is the best preparation strategy, what is the syllabus that you can cover, this is what we are going to discuss, right? So if we talk about the syllabus in the notification of APFC examination, ये previous year notification है, right? अभी इस ईयर तो नोटिफिकेशन आया नहीं है. सो इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द सिलेबस मेंशन्ड इन द नोटिफिकेशन, सो ओनली थिंग इज मेंशन्ड इज इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशंस एंड लेबर लॉज, which means if you talk about syllabus mentioned in the notification, that is completely vague. after reading the notification, you are not going to conclude what to read under this component and what to skip, right? But guys, do not worry, we have decoded the syllabus of IR and labor laws, and this is what we are going to discuss in this session. Now, first of all, let's discuss the syllabus of industrial relations. Then after that, we will be discussing the syllabus of labor laws as well. So guys, if we talk about the syllabus of industrial relations, so here these are the topics that you need to read under industrial relations, right? For example, Indian labor force, trade union, collective bargaining, industrial discipline, industrial conflicts and disputes, settlement of industrial disputes, very important topic guys, labor welfare, again very important, wages, very important, workers participation management, international industrial relation, and industrial health and safety, again very important topic. So these are those topics which is a part of industrial relations and which are asked in the APFC examination. Now the question is how we have decoded the syllabus. So we have decoded the syllabus by analyzing the previous year papers, right? By analyzing the previous year papers, we have decoded the syllabus of IR, and this is the syllabus of IR. These are the topics that you need to cover if you want to prepare the component of IR, right? So guys, note it down. You have to prepare all these topics in order to prepare the IR wala component, right? So this is about IR. Now, if we see if we can understand the nature of the question जो कि इन topics में से पूछे जाते हैं, so what kind of questions are there? So guys, here you can see that conceptual question भी पूछे जाते हैं. Here you can see the example, right? So if we are taking this example, that for example, industrial relations is currently more influenced by the external market forces than the power play between employers and employees. And second statement is there, the forces of globalization have made competition so imperative that unions and their tactics like stopping productivity no more hold good. So these are the two statements. Now we have to tell which statement is correct, right? So basically this is a conceptual thing. Conceptual concept. So if you have clarity with respect to the basic concepts of IR, then you can easily solve these kind of question. So one category of question that is asked from IR is conceptual based questions. Next is guys theoretical and static based question, right? So these are based on theories. So if you have covered the theories very well under IR, then you can solve these kind of questions. For example, here you can see the question which was asked earlier in previous year. The famous Giri approach in industrial relation in India espouses the causes of which of the following, right? So if you know the answer, then you can mark it correct. If you do not know the answer, then you cannot make a blind guess, right? So that is why it is completely static or theoretical based questions. Then again, if you take another example, then you can see which one of the following is an exception from the 5 functional types of unionism identified by Robert Hoxie. So here you can see the options. You have to mark the correct option, right? Similar is the case with this question. Which one of the following perspective of IR is based on the assumption that both the parties strive and have opportunity to exercise economic as well as political power? Here are the options which you have to mark it, right? So basically these are theoretical or static type questions, which if you have read the concept very well, then you can easily attempt that. If you haven't read, then guys, it would be difficult for you to attempt these kind of questions, right? So this is the second category which are asked from in the IR component. Third category is constitutional based questions. So here you can see the question that the provision of workers' participation in management. This topic we have discussed in the syllabus part, right? Just in previous slides. So here you can see the provision of workers' participation in management of industries is provided under which of the following article of the Indian Constitution. So your options are given, right? So you have to mark the right answer. So basically these are 3 major categories under the IR from where questions are framed. That is conceptual, theoretical or static, and third is constitutional, right? So while reading this component, you have to keep in mind these themes, and you have to understand the basics, and you have to understand the concept under these themes, right? That is only you can attempt the questions asked in the examination, right? So this is about the industrial relations. Now if we talk about labor laws, the syllabus of labor laws. So what is the syllabus of labor laws? So guys, here you can see that these are the 6 important acts that you need to cover if you want to prepare the labor law component, right? So similarly, as we have discussed the syllabus of IR, now we are discussing the syllabus of labor laws. So here these are the 6 acts, that is Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act, Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act, Trade Unions Act, Factories Act, and Industrial Disputes Act. So basically these are 6 acts that you have to prepare if you want to prepare the labor law component. Right guys? So these are the 6 components, though they are not mentioned in the syllabus, in the notification, but we have decoded it again based on the previous year questions, right? Based on the analysis of PYQs. So this is about the labor laws. Now the question is, what kind of questions are asked from these laws? So here you can see the example also, that questions relating to the application or interpretation of standing order certified under the Industrial Employment Standing Order Act 1946 may be referred to. So here you can see this particular act that we have just discussed, right? In which of the following acts housing facility is a statutory provision? Again, options are there. The main objective of the Minimum Wage Act 1948 is to safeguard the interest in the workers engaged in. Here you can see the option. And guys, in which part of the Indian Constitution workers' participation in management has been incorporated, right? So these kind of questions are asked from that particular act. So questions are not very deep, but in order to understand, in order to attempt the question asked from these acts, you have to read the important provision very well, right? Important provision you cannot skip. Right? So guys, though it is not a judiciary examination, but you have to read it, the important provisions carefully, because questions are framed from there itself, right? So whatever act you are referring, whatever act you are studying, you have to refer the important provision under that act, so that whenever question is framed, that you can easily attempt, right? So this is about the nature of questions under labor laws. Now guys, the next important category is labor code. A lot of aspirants have been asking about the importance of labor code, whether questions will be asked from the labor code or not, right? So guys, अगर अभी तक की हम बात करें तो अभी तक APFC एग्जामिनेशन में या EO AO एग्जामिनेशन में लेबर कोड्स में से नो क्वेश्चन हैव बीन आस्क्ड, राइट? कोई भी क्वेश्चन अभी तक नहीं पूछे गए हैं. उसका एक इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन भी है कि अभी तक इसे नोटिफाई नहीं किया गया, राइट? कुछ प्रोविजंस है वो नोटिफाई हो चुके हैं, बट एंटायर कोड इज नॉट नोटिफाइड येट. सो दिस इज द वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन कि यहां से क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछे जा रहे हैं. बट अगेन, इफ यू हैव कवर्ड द syllabus of IR and labor law that we have just discussed, and if you have sufficient time, guys, you can go for labor code. ठीक है, आप labor code prepare कर सकते हैं. So here you can see these are the 4 labor codes, that is the code on wages, the industrial relations code, the code on social security, and the occupational safety, health and working conditions code. So as you all know that 29 labor laws have been subsumed into 4 labor codes, and these are the 4 labor codes. Right? So if you have sufficient time and if you have covered the syllabus of IR as well as 6 labor laws, then guys you can go for these labor codes, right? But if you haven't, suppose if you haven't covered the syllabus of IR and labor law, then guys in priority you have to cover those. After that, if you have sufficient time, then you can cover these. Right? So in priority you have to first cover the syllabus of IR and labor law, that is 6 acts that we have just discussed, and after that if you have the remaining time, then guys you can cover these 4 codes, right? So this is the importance of 4 codes, and since yet no question have been asked, so we cannot say that in future whether question will be there or not. It all depends on the notification, right? If these codes are notified, then there is a probability that question will be there in the examination. But again, since these codes are not notified yet, right? So that is why the probability of questions being asked in the examination is quite less, right guys? So guys, this is all for this session. I hope you understand the syllabus of IR and labor law, and also you get to know what topics you need to cover it thoroughly, and what are the types of questions that are asked under the IR and labor law. So guys, this is all for this session. We'll meet in another session. Till then, goodbye and happy learning guys.